cold at the touch, dead in the eyes, no signs of life no more. I put your love under the knife. Leave me to die here all alone. No signs of life no more, no. A crying dove may never fly. Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh, 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 oh. Just black and white. Just let me go, it's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. Just let me go, it's only right. For all I know, it's only matter. It's calico, it's black and white. White, white, white. Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Oh, 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 oh. Just black and white. Black and white.
There we go. Can you hear me now? How does that sound? Have you got me now? There we go. Apologies, everybody. I was messing around with audio tracks and things because of this because of this audio mixer. I was messing about with the different tracks for recording and didn't realise that streaming only took one channel. Apologies, but look at these championships, man. They're incredibly close. We've got second place tied in the academy and consistency classes. Not only that, but we've got this. Check this out. The very top, the very, very top of the championship in precision. Look at this sort of stuff. Adrian Falcon and Tom Walstra tied on points. Tied on points for the championship lead with this and 2 other race meetings to go. Now, if that doesn't scare you, then I don't know what will, because this can get very, very feisty in these final rounds. And what a place to do it here at Suzuka. My name is Chaz Draycott, the one with the audio issues, despite the fact he's spent a small fortune on new kit recently. Can't even sort his OBS out. That's the issue here. But we have cars out on track. Here is Matthew Crisp in the fiercely forward machine. Matthew, another one of those drivers that's just always up there and always fighting for position. And that wonderful looking fiercely forward car. Adrian Falcon is fastest at the moment. Championship leader, doing all that he can do to make sure that he holds on to, well, what sort of championship lead he can hold on to anyway. He is only, at the moment, 53 thousandths ahead of Tanguy van der Weeg for Flemish Sim Sports, who is then only 7 thousandths of a second ahead of Kevin Zemstra. Absolutely frightening. How are we all this evening? I hope you're all very well indeed. It's great to see everybody back out again for another round of this championship. Bod Boland has actually joined us tonight. I wasn't aware that Bod was joining us. Oh, he has a little bit of a moment there out the final corner. Good evening, Chris. Good to see you, mate. I'm not sure why Bod's livery hasn't loaded. I did update the paint pack. It's an odd one, isn't it? Well, that will be the end of qualifying then. Already. So, the first heat of the evening, as I will shut the music up, excusez-moi. Here is your grid then for the first race of the evening. Adrian Falcon, championship leader on pole position. He will be alongside Tanguy van der Weeg with Tom Walstra and Ross Nicholson on row 2. Then we have Ben White and Bod Boland, who is a privateer, I've been informed. Victor Belair-Centelles alongside Tim Rutten with Sebastian Heberer and Hans Polmans rounding out your top 10. Hansy in the house. Taylor Lane and Matt Forrest are on row 6 with Alex Eitler 13th, Michael Fisher in 14th, Carn New in 15th, Wayne Palmer and our very own Jack Werrell at the back of the grid. So, first heat of the night, all ready to go. I hope everything's sounding okay. Just report any sound issues or anything. Ignore the first one before, but let me know of any sound issues. There is the wonderful Ferris wheel here at the beautiful Suzuka. What a circuit. What a place to be. But there is your championship leader, Adrian Falcon. And also, Hope Bart Delman. Yeah, I want to echo Matty Scrone's comments. Bart Delman not very well at the moment, so we really do hope you're better soon, buddy. And Bod Boland, by the way, is in the precision class. So I'll get him added over the course of the evening. Apologies, Bod, and apologies to you guys watching at home that are thinking, why is that guy not in a class? We'll figure that out. He's a privateer, though, racing in the precision class. So, another great night of racing lies ahead. The first heat of the night in the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series from Suzuka is underway. Looks like a good start by Tanguy van der Weeg in the number 64 car on the left-hand side of your screen. Bit of jostling in the midfield, but look at this. Madran goes to the outside. He knows that he needs to try and hold on to this. Tanguy van der Weeg down the inside. We know how fast Tanguy can be. Oh, Bod Boland's been caught out in his very first corner of the championship. Victor Centelles is over and in a humongous accident. Jack Werrell makes it through. I thought he might have got caught up in it, but look at this. Tom Walstra now just behind Adrian Falcon. It's Tom and Adrian that are tied for the championship lead at the moment. So these two are the ones that we need to keep an eye on, that are going to be fighting for the championship as things progress. It's a really fun circuit to drive around in these cars, this Suzuka. Very demanding as well. There's a lot of downforce to help you around corners like 130R and other parts of the circuit. Oh, that's a big run wide there from Tom Wallstra, and through goes the Year 1 Racing Alpha Live car. That's Ben White, highest in the consistency class at the moment. Just behind them is Tim Rutten with Taylor Lane, Hans Polmans and Matthew Forrest for company. Tim Rutten having a real turnaround compared to his previous season. Tom Wallstra now back up into third. He's held up Ben White a little bit. Oh, as he has a moment there, though, coming out of Spoon Curve. And that's going to really slow him down up the straight. What can Tim Rutten do? Which way does he go? He goes to the inside towards 130R. Takes a brave man to do that through there. This is championship stuff for Tom Wallstra. Oh, that was close. Taylor Lane says, thank you very much. I'll take that, Tim. Oh, Tim has a lock-up on the way into the chicane as well. Any bit of contact here could ruin the championship for Tom Wallstra. Ross Nicholson is further down. Michael Fisher's had an issue. I want to just see the start. Let's have a little look here. What's gone on? Oh, Bob Boland actually loses it. Victor Centelles gets smacked into. That's a humongous incident. Absolutely humongous incident. So you see Bob Boland's just sideways and the two rear wheels clip, and that just flips Victor's car over. What happens to Ross Nicholson in this? Because, oh, Ross is already sideways on his own. He has a big, big slide. You see Victor's car in the background. Such a shame that is. Not sure about you guys, but that whooshing sound sounded very bassy in my my earphones. I'm not quite sure whether that was down to the PC side of things or this headset. It's the first time I've used a headset that cost me more than £15, so do forgive me if I'm taken back slightly by it over the course of the broadcast. This is Hans Polmans trying to chase down Tim Rutten. Both in the same class. Taylor Lane ahead of them is in the Academy class and leading that championship at the moment. Taylor's always been good in these cars. He's doing an outstanding job at the moment. Into Spoon Curve. Very difficult corner to get right because you're braking and turning for the first part, then you're braking and turning for the second. Look at the understeer. Horrendous understeer there. Sebastian Herbert, a little bit further back in this train, is on the back of Alex Eitler now. It is the first time I have bass, Louis, yes. And thank you, Ollie. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Sebastian Herbert down the inside through 130R. Alex Eitler has to go on the very undesirable AstroTurf. Taylor Lane, he's having a bit of a scrap here with Tim Rutten. I think Tim just got that done, and then Taylor said no thank you. Through he goes. Tim closing up down the straight. Great field of cars that we've got here in the Simracersworld Formula 3 Series. Oh, there's a car waiting there. That's Victor Centelles trying to come back on. Taylor Lane is really under pressure now from Tim Rutten. Although around here it seems that Taylor is the quicker of the two. Back at the front, Tanguy van der Weeg still leading the way from Adrian Falken, and Tom Wallstra needs to go after him at this point. Look at the understeer on the way into the first Degner there. So much commitment from Tom Wallstra. Absolutely chucking it at the scenery at the moment is Tom Wallstra. That was fantastic. He's never short of commitment, is Tom. He's had a great few rounds recently in the last couple of races in the championship. Here's Tim Rutten, still on the back of Taylor Lane. Don't forget, the pair of them in different classes, as I pointed out. Tim's going to try and close. Oh, wow, that's really good, that is, Ollie. Tom Wallstra, 6th overall in the official Formula 1 Championships. Taylor Lane now having to go defensive here. Into the chicane they go. Tim Rutten doing a good job at the moment. It's a great chase from him. Someone that's going to get a front row seat to this, though, is Hans Polmans. You've got Tim Rutten on the left. On the right-hand side, Taylor Lane. Taylor hugging the wall. Tim comes over a bit just to make sure he squeezes him to the middle of the circuit. It's turn one. Oh, Taylor's got in very deep. That was almost contact. I don't know how they didn't make contact. Great awareness from Tim Rutten. Manages to get the car swapped over just behind this Matthew Forrest and Sebastian Heberer side by side as well as they go up through the S's. Round the outside goes Matt Forrest. Don't forget, in this first race, the top 8 go through to the feature race at the end of the night. Everyone else, if you finish 9th like Sebastian Heberer is going to at the moment, if things stay the way they are, he will start on pole position for the Consolation race, and then Alex Eitler will start 3rd, Carl Newen will start 5th, etc, etc. But anybody in the top 8 now will go straight through to the final. Round the hairpin they go. Onto the throttle nice and early there for Taylor. Really gets on with it. But Tanguy van der Weeg's only got half a second lead over Adrian Falcon at the moment. So Adrian, he's still there. He's still putting the pressure on. As we said before, it's quite Senna-esque with the bright yellow helmet poking out of the top of the very, very gorgeous blue Team Iridium car. Look at this, though, from Adrian Falcon. He's all over the back of him now as they go through the chicane, round the final corner, onto the straight once more. And we need to look at Taylor Lane because there's the inside of Tim Rutten's nose. I mean the car, not Tim himself. Adrian Falcon, fastest lap of the race. And crossing over down the inside. Oh no, Tim Rutten's dropped it. A sudden adjustment of the brakes, a bit of extra brake pressure into the corner, and he's absolutely ruined it. And that's going to put him into the Consolation race potentially. He's on lap 5 out of 7. That's such a shame. Such a shame for Tim Rutten. Let's go on board. You can see he just has to get on the brakes a bit harder than usual into there. And around it goes. He gets going very, very well, though, very quickly, but I'm afraid it's not enough. Alex Eitler's had an issue. That's an accident for Alex Eitler. It's broken the right rear. I'm not sure that's going to fix itself. What has happened to Alex Eitler? Oh, has he just run wide on the S out of here? Oh, he's had one moment. Oh, it's just a long, long spin. And then that touch just breaks the right rear. That's such a shame for Alex Eitler. The car looking a bit sorry for itself in the final corner. Oh no, Tanguy van der Weeg, there's contact and Tanguy. Oh, he's going to absolutely hate that. Tanguy's had so many incidents this season. We'll have seen him in the YouTube chat. I was just trying to sort of assess which way they were going to go. And there was that tiny, tiny bit of touch in. Oh. Honestly, I watch the contact again, and it's just Adrian pops out right at the last moment. They're so close together. And then when the contact happens, let's see if there is any daylight between them. Tanguy does go to turn in, and yeah, there is a little bit of daylight, but the left rear does touch. And that's a massive off for Tanguy van der Weeg. I don't think he's going to be very happy with that one. He's had a very rough season so far. Such a shame, man. Such a shame. But that, of course, means that everybody behind has gone up a position now. So Adrian Falcon leads the way. Tom Walstra second. Ben White third. Taylor Lane has gained 7 places in this race. What a fantastic start to his evening. Hans Polmans is 5th. 6th place is Sebastian Heberer. Matt Forrest is 7th. And it actually puts Tim Rutten back inside the top 8. Him and Adrian Falcon are the only 2 cars that are currently where they started this race. So they'll be happy with that, to have held their respective positions. Oh, Tim Rutt nearly doesn't. Oh, and Carl Newen makes contact. There's the commentator's curse. Carl Newen tries to get it out of there, and oh, the gap was there when Khan decided to commit to it, and then after that it just became a tangled mess. We had an issue for Michael Fisher as well just before this. He's just going to light it up on the exit. There he goes. It's a bit too much curb for him. Oh, it's so gutting. Absolutely gutting. And now Jack Werrell is up into a feature race position, but he's got Ross Nicholson right behind him. Now we know how fast Ross is as we go into the final lap with Adrian Falcon leading the way. Ross looks to the inside and the outside and everywhere else. Jack locks up on the way in. Manages to keep a hold of it though, and Ross actually manages to keep the car on the circuit as well, but a much bigger gap between the pair of them now. Taylor Lane has got Hans Polmans right behind him now that Tim Rutten isn't there to have a go. Go on board with Hans Polmans then through turn 2 as we go up the S's once again. Oh, there's an apex there somewhere. Hansy manages to get it turned in the end. He's gained 5 places so far. He rounded out the top 10 in qualifying for this race anyway. Would have meant that he actually qualified about 20th or 19th or 21st, one of those two positions. He's still chasing down Taylor Lane, but he's in the top 5 and he's in with a chance of getting into the feature race. Here's Jack Werrell, the final car. He's on the cusp at the moment with Ross Nicholson behind, but your race leader Adrian Falcon, he would not have wanted that contact. Neither of them did. But his car survived and he leads the race. Tanguy asking if I want to play Among Us. I have been streaming it for the last 2 evenings, but tonight's going to be a night off after this. But into the final chicane for the first race of the evening then. It's a good start to the night. Despite the contact, Adrian Falcon round the final corner. Takes the win in Heat 1 of the night here at Suzuka. Great drive. A real shame that contact is going to be a talking point. Adrian looking sus. Ben White, he'll be happy with the 3rd place there. Taylor Lane wiggles it across the line. So does Hans Polmans as well. Sebastian Hebra, Matt Forrest and Jack Werrell. Is he going to get through? Ross Nicholson chasing him to the line. Jack Werrell makes it through into the feature race. Ross Nicholson will start from pole position in the Consolation with Wayne Palmer 3rd, Carl Newen 5th. Michael Fisher will be 7th. And Tim Rutten, after those issues before, I'm afraid, will be 9th in said Consolation race. But that's the first one out of the way. Adrian Falcon takes a win. Taylor Lane, your championship leader in Academy, looking very strong once again. Good scrapping though to get our first race of the night out of the way. And everyone will be very pleased with that one, I'm sure. And then we need to now line up for race 2 of the evening. Matthew Crisp on pole position from Kevin Zemstra. Arthur Fry, he was great to watch at Alton Park, so keep an eye on Arthur. Ben Hoffman 4th, ahead of James Forstyke and Matthew Sufi. Then it's Paul Godden and Josh Clogg, with Henning Stuhlinger and Holger Meifert just behind. John Tusting lines up alongside Stephen Grabowski on row 6. We then have Greg Parmenter, who is chasing down Taylor Lane for the Academy Class Championship, with Daniele Giudici and Jeff Browning, with Chris Roberts and Danny Fenning rounding out the back of the grid. But there's the silver, fiercely forward, independent machine of Matthew Crisp, and alongside him on the front row, another fiercely forward car in the form of Kevin Zemstra. Ben Hoffman lines up 4th in the Year 1 Racing Alpha Life car, just ahead of his teammate James Forstyke. And any second now, we're just waiting for Stephen Grabowski to get on the grid. Maybe it's something to do with his ping. Although it seems that he's not taking the start here. He's in the pit lane, is Stephen Grabowski. And the second heat race of the evening gets underway. Great start by Arthur Fry. Bad look of it. One of the Sim Stickers cars in the background takes to the grass. Kevin Zemstra is going to prove that the inside line definitely works to turn one. It's often better to be in second place, it seems. Zemstra to the front. Matthew Crisp doesn't fight him too much. Then you've got Hoffman and Forsyth behind. Matthew Sufi leading the Academy class at the moment. Holger Meifert is side by side with one of the Sim Stickers cars. That's Paul Godden. Just trying to go around the outside. Manages to hold it in front. John Tusting also caught up in this fight as well. That's Henning Stuhlinger side by side with him. Nearly making contact through the S's. Henning's gone off the circuit. Austin Greatorex, my greatest stalker. Good to see you, mate. How you doing? Arthur Fry sitting in third now with Hoffman just behind. Great performance by Hoffman so far. Down the inside he goes. Thank you very much, he says. We've got Henning Stuhlinger off the circuit. Oh, that's backwards. Oh, wow. One of the Sim Stickers cars into the air, and Daniele Giudici gets caught up in that as well. That was a massive hit. Wow, Jeff Browning apparently went off the circuit. Oh, Henning Stuhlinger got caught up in it. And look at that jump there. Was that Greg Parmenter? It was Greg Parmenter in the chase for the Academy Championship. Got flung into the air by the wheel-to-wheel contact there. Great drive that was, Jack. Very well done, mate. Well, John Tustin got away with that one quite luckily there, I think. Austin. We've got a purple first sector from Stephen Grabowski. Obviously, with no cars to hold him up or have a fight with, he's actually flying out there. There's your leader then, Kevin Zemstra, with Matthew Crisp, Ben Hoffman, Arthur Fry, James Forsyth, Matthew Sufi, Josh Clogg, and Holger Meifert in the rest of the positions that will get through into the feature race at the moment. Two black and yellow cars fighting together here. Holger Meifert just behind Josh Clogg. Look at the pace down the straight here from Holger Meifert in the slipstream. Such a shame for Jeff Browning, the Team Blitz racing machine. Falling down the order earlier. Arthur Fry and Ben Hoffman side by side again here. Ben Hoffman trying to go through to get that position back. Arthur actually had him down the inside into turns 1 and 2. Look at this great train here for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. And 8th with Holger Meifert all over the back of Josh Clogg. Oh, that's not going to help Holger Meifert. That's very, very wide. He bounces. Oh, John Tustin goes to avoid him. Manages to get into it. That must have been very entertaining from John Tusting's point of view. Let's have another look here. How he didn't hit the Sim Stickers car in front. That's Paul Godden. Paul must be absolutely... The thing is, John was the one that was trying to avoid it more than Paul was. Paul just committed and carried on. Wow. Paul needs to open a second business now. Sim nappies, never mind Sim Stickers. That was really scary stuff. Ben Hoffman losing out to Arthur Fry. Great battle here between these three cars. It's the 2 Year One Racing Alpha Live cars, the white and black machines against Arthur Fry's pink helmet. Yep, I said it. Down towards 130R, you can see Hoffman just holding off slightly, and look at the run that Forsyth's got. Oh, Hoffman really compromises his run through 130R. Will Forsyth go down the inside? He will not. The two of them will be communicating as best they can to work together as a team. Out of the final corner they go. Down the straight once more, you can see Kevin Zemstra leading the race from Matthew Crisp. Two fiercely forward cars at the front once again. Just behind this, by the way, Matthew Sufi leading the Academy class at the moment. Made a very impressive debut at Alton Park last time out, 2 weeks ago. And has been just as impressive here as well. It was nice to have the series fit around my reason for being away last Thursday. The series didn't change anything. It was just a nice coincidence that we had an off week when I was away. Virtual Racing Compound, good to see you guys. I hope you have a good evening tonight. Jack Werrell, of course, through into the feature race. A good start for you, isn't it? This is so close between all of these guys in the mid-pack. They're all so close together in terms of times, in terms of position and clean air. One little mistake could ruin this train. Zemstra, Crisp and Fry all sharing purple sectors on that previous lap. Oh, Henning Stuhling has just lost out to Daniele Giudici. Daniele goes through, up into 11th place. After that earlier incident, it's good to see him still out there. Down the inside, though, Stuhlinger says, not in your life. Down the inside into Spoon. Onto the brakes. Nicely done. Very good stuff there. Kevin Zemstra still leads this race. And we'll go back to this, actually, because Giudici was not taking this line down. Down towards 130R once again. Take note, Adrian and Tanguy. Well, nearly just sort of look away. Arthur Fry, fastest lap of the race, 154.2. Look at Daniele defending for his life there. But Henning's surely going to get a good run out of here now. And that he does. Now he's going to get help from the slipstream as well. These are the closest two cars on track at the moment. Don't forget the top 8 go through to the feature race. Anyone after that goes through into the Consolation. Oh, Daniele gets a four-wheel drift on through there. That was a real slide as he goes up the S's. This is still going on here, by the way. Matthew Sufi has not got rid of Josh Clogg. Josh is very much chasing him down at the moment. Here we are on board with the American driver. Suzuka's an absolute classic, isn't it? It's such a wonderful circuit. Absolutely wonderful place. Such a challenge as well. This is the thing with these more classic natural racetracks. They're not just sharp corner straight from the Tilkedromes that we all know. These are long, flowing, natural corners. And it's just so much better. Josh Clogg really closing. You can hear him letting off the throttle. He doesn't want to disturb Sufi's line into that. What's he going to do now? Oh, John Tusting's had an issue a little bit further down. And down the inside goes Josh Clogg. Let's see what happens to John Tusting. Oh no, there's contact here, surely. Oh, Stephen Grabowski gets into him. That's a very strange little moment there. The airbox has popped off the car. The intake. So it's no longer forced induction. It's more sort of involuntary induction. Forsyth has just gone past Hoffman for 4th place. The two teammates just swapping around there. Forsyth, of course, as you can see in the blue stripe there, is in the precision class. His teammate, Ben Hoffman, is in the consistency class. Now it's Daniele Giudici against Stephen Grabowski. Through turn 2 they go. Daniele down the inside. Hans has heard me talking about apexes. I can book you a taxi to the next one if you want, Hans. Nah, I'm joking, buddy. I'm joking. Daniele Giudici, though, he's having a great battle here with everybody all around him. Oh, well, he's having a battle with himself right now. There's the commentator's curse if I've ever seen it. Does a bit of grass tracking, a bit of Paris-Dakar, and off he goes back onto the circuit. Scary moment there for Giudici. The cars can very quickly snap away from you there. Oh, I'm sorry, Hans. I'm sorry. Kevin Zemstra has done another purple sector in that previous lap. But these are the closest cars together on circuit at the moment. Oof, Louis with the burn about my audio issues. I was only trying to make things better for you guys. Wow. Oh, Danny Fenning. Danny Fenning has had an issue. Further down the order, what's happened to Danny? Oh, he was getting out of the way. And he's just waiting for the field to go through. Here's your race leader then. Another fastest lap by Arthur Fry, who is not going anywhere from behind these pair. Matthew Crisp just ahead. 1.4 seconds up the road. Danny Fenning has had more issues further down, I'm afraid. I think he's gone... Oh, he's still going, actually. I thought he'd gone back to the pit lane for a second there. Bod just proving that the cars are hard to drive quickly. Yeah, they look planted, don't they, when you watch them on stream. But they do get a little bit twitchy here and there, and they can break away so easily. Oh, Geordie Racer, I'm sorry, mate. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but yes, John did lose that airbox. We've got one more lap to go after this one then for your race leader and everyone else, I suppose. Ben Hoffman still staying with his teammate as well. Ben Hoffman's doing a fine job this season. There's himself, Ben White, and James Forsyke in that team. And the three of them have been very interesting to watch. They've had some good battles all up and down the order. They, of course, have their teammate Phil Reagan in one of the other Year 1 racing cars. Just not the Year 1 Racing Alpha Live machines. Let me know about the audio levels, by the way, as well, guys. I hope everything sounds okay. Seems like the volume at the moment isn't too bad. We've not got any clipping or anything, so that's all golden. There's a lot of different settings and things for me to get used to and change. Obviously, there's a lot on the software side and there's a lot on the mixing side as well. So there's quite a bit to take in. But we're on to the final lap. A little bit too much bass, you reckon? From my voice, is that? Do you reckon? DJ Chaz. Kevin Zemstra has still got Matthew Crisp right behind him, just over 0.4 of a second. Now, is that the bass from my voice? I think really terrible is an exaggeration, isn't it, Tangy? James Forsyke, though, he's going to be waiting and watching to see if anything happens here. Same with Arthur Fry, actually. Arthur's going to be stuck on there. The buttery biscuit bass. Well, one thing I noticed about my older commentary is that I tended to tense my voice up and stay too high-pitched, and it's got a lot bassier over time. Maybe that's not just for me tensing up my voice. Maybe I'm tensing something else up without knowing it, I suppose. Kevin Zemstra moving quickly on. Is going through a spoon. Up towards 130R again. Barry Chaz White. Not quite, mate. Not quite. To be fair, the bass on the actual microphone is only turned up to 75%. Barry Chaz. Anyway, look at this, though. I'm not the important thing here. These guys are. Matthew Crisp really trying to put the pressure on through the final chicane, but it's going to be Kevin Zemstra that takes it for Fiercely Forward in Heat 2. Arthur Fry, another great podium. James Forsyke and Ben Hoffman, the two inseparable Year 1 Racing Alpha Live cars. Across the line, Josh Clogg in 6th. Matthew Sufi gets through to the feature race. Fantastic drive. Paul Godden in the final spot. Chris Roberts just missing out, but he will start the Consolation race second on the grid. With Henning Stuhlinger starting 4th. Stephen Grabowski will be 6th, with Daniele Giudici in whatever position comes next. 8th. Oh, it's been a long week. Here's Jeff Browning. I imagine when he saw that SimStickers car in the air before, wasn't just his name that was Browning. Well, Tangy, you've got to be in it to win it, my friend. In it to win it. But for that heat race, there is your winner, Kevin Zemstra. Great drive. And his teammate Matthew Crisp finally gets it done on the cool-down lap. Arthur Fry, I believe, is already ahead of the pair of them. But that was some good racing once again there. Really enjoyed that. Really did enjoy that one. And just like that, we're here for the consolation race then. So, Ross Nicholson on pole, Chris Roberts second with Wayne Palmer and Henning Stuhlinger on row 2, just ahead of Khan Newen and Stephen Grabowski. Then we have Michael Fisher with Daniele Guidici, Tim Rutten and Jeff Browning round out the top 10. Then it's Victor Belaya-Centelles with Holger Meifert in 12th, Tanguy van der Weeg 13th, Danny Fenning 14th ahead of Alex Eitler, and John Tusting with Bob Boland and Greg Parmenter rounding out your field. And we've got 10 laps here and a mandatory pit stop in this one as well, just to shake things up. Now, drivers that get through this race, the top 8 go through, but they will be the last 8 cars on the grid in the feature. And they'll have done 3 races over the course of the evening if they get through to the said feature. So it's a very long night if you do that. I'm putting a lot of faith in my mute button on my stream deck this evening. Trust me. So, the consolation race here at Suzuka in the SimSticker Simracersworld Formula 3 Series is away. Looks like a very dumbed down start by Ross Nicholson. Alongside him comes Wayne Palmer in the SimStickers car. Around the outside, scares the life out of Wayne. Wayne goes wide on the exit of turn 1. They all managed to keep it together. Tanguy van der Weeg has gained 5 places already. Make that 6. How has he done that? Tanguy van der Weeg has gained 6 places. In 2 corners, we've got a car off. Oh, Alex Eitler, Jeff Browning. Oh, Bob Boland has had an absolute baptism of fire tonight. Khan Newen isn't even in the race. Oh, we've got more problems. And Tanguy van der Weeg is in it. Oh, Tanguy's got no look at all. What has happened there? Let's have a look. So, here's the earlier issue. That was when Alex Eitler went off the circuit. Oh, Jeff Browning lost it. And they all just concertinaed together. What happened to Tanguy? Oh, he caused it. Went down the inside of Daniele Guidici. That's a massive accident for Tanguy van der Weeg, but the aggression, maybe, that got him those 6 places off the start was just a bit too much for the S's. Here's his start then from the very get-go. Lovely launch. We've got cars off again. Greg Parmenter leading the Academy Class Championship. Or, well, second. Look at that around the outside. Very gutsy stuff. And then to the right. Then to the left. That's 6 places gained. And now he's going to chase down Daniele Guidici. Maybe it was just a bit over-aggressive, though. It's a tough one to call, isn't it? Very tough one to call, but I'm afraid it does happen. And, oh, Victor Belaya-Centelles has had an issue. He was taking a cone with him there for a second. Daniele Guidici's gone off as well, and he's back in the pits. That's a big accident for him. What has gone on there? Let's have a quick look back. Oh, the rear wing's gone through 130R. That is the last thing you want. Oh, and he tried to get it back around, and he smacked into the wall. Such a shame. But Ross Nicholson leads the race then from pole position. Chris Roberts second. Stephen Grabowski has gained 3 places to go up to 3rd. This is Henning Stuhlinger, started 4th, is currently 4th. John Tusting, 10 places gained. Go on, sunshine. John Tusting flying at the moment. I'll show you the gains on the left-hand side. 10 positions, 6 for Alex Eitler. Let's have a look at Alex. Although Alex is... Oh no, he's coming out of the pit lane. A lot of these cars are just because of the incident earlier. The rest of the field have all been in the pits. This is Chris Roberts in 2nd place. He's having to think about the car behind, which is Stephen Grabowski in the 4 Elements car. Tanguy, don't you dare mention that if you no longer go for a gap phrase. We all know that that is a very, very incorrect phrase. Okay. Well, if you say it that way. Oh, Henning Stuhlinger. Henning Stuhlinger's spun it at Spoon Curve, gets going again, and John Tusting is surely going to gain his 11th position of this race. There he goes. Or does he? He's not got his nose in front yet. Oh, he's slowing down. Has he had a slowdown penalty? Maybe he just thinks better of it through there. He's thinking, no, it's It's Stuhlinger and Centelles. I'm just going to sit back and watch. Into the chicane they go. Nicholson leads the way with a 155.3. Fastest lap of the race, 7 tenths quicker than Stephen Grabowski. So this is looking nice and straightforward. Whoa, they fell off my chair. It's looking good for Ross Nicholson at the moment. Smashing job. Here's Holger Meifert, just stuck to the back of Bod Boland at the moment. Is he going to go right or left? He goes right onto the grass. Bod doesn't give him all the room in the world, let's say. Through 130R side by side. We've seen this a couple of times. Bod runs a bit wide. Holger Meifert accommodates for it. Comes back on, though. And still gets it stopped for the corner. Nicely done. Oh, he has a bit of a slide there as well. Further up. Here's Balea Centelles. And Grabowski's gone past Chris Roberts, apparently round the outside of 130R. Let's have a look. Look at that from Stephen Grabowski. That is commitment, son. Beautiful stuff. Thank you for pointing that out, Jack Werrell, in the chat. Don't know who you are, but you've got a sharp eye for detail. Should be a commentator. Alex Eitler has just lost that place to Bod Boland, who's trying to make his way back up the order. Here's Centelles with Stuhlinger still behind him. I'm still not sure if it's Victor Balea Centelles, I should be saying. But apologies if it's not. There we go, I got it working now. Apologies for that. Don't give Jack silly ideas. He is competition for me, Hansy. He is competition for me. But he's a good lad. Ross Nicholson, though, he's now 3.7 seconds ahead. Louis Hanker says 3 names, I feel a crash coming. Have I just maybe amplified that power slightly by changing his name? Ross Nicholson, though, he's the man of the moment, at the moment, you could say. Stephen Grabowski, great drive from him. The 4 Elements Racing Team driver doing a good job. Same with Chris Roberts, he's on for a podium in this Consolation race. Wayne Palmer had a very scary first lap. And Anton Dupin just pointing out facts. I'm just going to leave that there. Wow. We'll go on board with Wayne Palmer and just see what he can do about the chase on Roberts. He was 0.2 of a second quicker than him last time round. Half a second quicker in Sector 3 alone. They're almost identical this time round as well through Sector 5. Onto the brakes into the final chicane. Wayne Palmer just looks a lot more stable on the brakes there. We're on to lap 5 out of 10, a 154.8 from Ross Nicholson. What a great time that is. I'll stay with Wayne Palmer for just a moment and see how this chase pans out. You can see the great pace of these cars. They really are little pocket rockets, these Formula 3 cars. They're so underrated in terms of their pace and their ability. As are the drivers in this series as well. The drivers are so underrated in most terms. Stephen Grabowski is one of the drivers that's really come on strong in the last season. He was a consistent backmarker in the first series. I think he got a couple of top 10s. But now he's in second place. Albeit the consolation race, but even still, you've got to be in it to win it, and he's certainly doing a good job at the moment. Bit of a lock up there from Wayne Palmer, but that gap is disappearing. I'll show you the gap in the bottom right of your screen. You can see it's to the nearest thousandth of a second. Oh, it looks like Chris has gone in a bit hot into Spoon. He needs to be careful on that AstroTurf so he doesn't over-rotate the rear of the car. Now watch the gap come down in the slipstream here. It was 3.5 tenths of a second as they got onto the throttle. Wayne Palmer just sort of moving around a bit because he knows that he's not going to get it done into 130R. He lets off a little bit, just plays it nice and smooth around there. You can see how the gap gets bigger through the corner as it sort of opens up. There's more time to be gained or lost there. We'll keep that on, actually. It's interesting to see as now he's in the slipstream, really tucked in. But he's only gained a tenth or so down the straight. But Wayne Palmer really pushing on here to try and get that position. He's still in with a shout of getting through, obviously. The highest placed car, by the way, that's pitted is Holger Meifert. Let's show you the pit stops on the left. There is a mandatory pit stop in this Consolation race, much like there will be in the feature race. But to be fair, Roberts is having a really good lap at the moment. Through the Degners, he's opened the gap up to 7 tenths of a second. Behind them, Victor Belea-Centelles is there for position as well. It is mandatory, the pit stop. Or is that a jibe at Montreal? Ah, I see. Forced. Oh, here we go. Oh, God, you can't... I can't say a word around here because, honestly, you lot have constantly got the 50p's ready, haven't they? Great battle going on here, though, for third place. Podium in this Consolation race. Will we see anybody come in this time round? Let's have a look at Ross Nicholson. Around the final corner. No, he does not pit. What about Stephen Grabowski? He doesn't either. Then we've got this trio. Chris Roberts doesn't. Wayne Palmer doesn't. Victor Centelles doesn't. What about Henning Stuhlinger? No. I think they're all going to leave it till right at the end. Big gap there. Back to Michael Fisher. Don't forget Holger Meifert, just coming into Spoon Curve, is the first driver that has pitted in this race. Bod Boland just behind him. But they're almost 3/4 of a lap behind Ross Nicholson. He's pushing that Sim Stickers car to the limit. Matthew Crisp there with the real strats, saying you could drive 10 seconds off the pace every lap and not have to pit. Oh yeah, Taylor for a consistency class minimum at least. No, it's good to see you, buddy. I do want to reiterate how much I love commentating on this championship, guys. I really do enjoy this one. There's some brilliant racing goes on. It's just so frantic as well. Hats off to Bart Daleman and his team behind the scenes that get this organised because the format works beautifully. I saw it at first and I thought, wow, it's going to take a long time for me to get my head around that, but it didn't really. And we're all good, and we've been enjoying a fantastic, fantastic championship. Up the hill they go then towards 130R once again. Keep an eye on Ross Nicholson into the final chicane. He's about to start his 8th lap of 10. And he does not pit. Stephen Grabowski does not pit either. So these guys are really making this last until the end. We may see some of them do it on the 9th lap or so. Here is Wayne Palmer then looking back at Victor Belea-Centelles. Look out for Victor on the... Well, I was going to say look out for Victor on the right. You can't really miss him when he does that. That was very late on the brakes, but he got it stopped. And he gained half a second in that corner alone. That's a purple first sector for Victor Centelles. And yeah, guys, we have 30 people watching at the minute, only 10 likes on the stream. Please do give it a like. And if you haven't already subscribed to Simracersworld TV, please make sure you do so. We've got a lot of stuff scheduled. If you check out our YouTube channel, you'll see all of the playlists and all of the different series that we've got broadcast. We've got the Simracer Coin GT3 World League. We've got the Simracersworld GT Pro and GT Evo series. We've got more rounds of the Simracersworld Formula 3 series coming up, and the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship as well. We've got a lot going on here on Simracersworld TV. The virtual bell car is at the end of the month as well, the 24 hours of Spa. Amazingly, there's 2 sim racing 24 hours of Spa going on the same weekend on Halloween. It's quite scary, isn't it? Down towards 130R again then. Chris Roberts now coming under pressure here from Victor Centelles. I'm going to say Centelles in future. Ross Nicholson has not pitted. Still no pit stop from Ross. I'm wondering whether he's forgotten the memo. Stephen Grabowski also not pitting, so I'm sure we'll see them pit this time. Wayne Palmer, he goes in. He gets away, hoping for a bit of clear air while these two in front do battle. This is Chris Roberts on the right, Centelles on the left. Very close together into turn 1. Down the inside goes Victor. Great job. And again, another purple sector from Victor Centelles. Oh, it's the 24 hours is older, isn't it? Apologies. Apologies, guys. I'm doing the 24 hours of Spa on a different sim. I'm commentating that one at that time. So unfortunately, well, fortunately for you, you won't have to deal with my my dull tones and my overly bassy microphone for the 24 hours is older. You lucky things. Through the Degners then. It's great to watch these cars go through the Degners. They just fly around there. Thank you very much, Ollie. Much appreciated, mate. I'd hope so for the amount of money that the headset cost. Victor Centelles has been a real breath of fresh air in this race. He's absolutely flying. Commentary's absolutely fine without me, Taylor. There's a absolute plethora of talented commentators at Simracersworld TV, each of them doing just a good job as each other. Some of them better than I, in fact. This is Victor Centelles then. We're on lap 9 out of 10 and Ross Nicholson is in the pits. I'm sure Stephen Grabowski will be as well. Yep, here he goes. It's hard to get that right in there. There's a video online of me, rolling an Audi R8 down this pit lane because I lost it on the grass and then hit the wall. They all get onto the limiters very quickly. Now, where's Wayne Palmer? Because Wayne, he is the one now that is the highest placed driver that's pitted so far. And I'm a little bit upset, Hans, that I've invested all this money and you can't tell a difference. But that's fine. To be fair, the other headset was like £15 and it was just as good as this one that costs more than 10 times that. And then you've got to add the price of the mixer on top of that. So just shows you how good a headset Microsoft can make for £15. Ross Nicholson is out, way out of the pit lane. Stephen Grabowski in second place is 9 seconds back. Centelles is third, Roberts fourth, and there is Wayne Palmer then in fifth position. And Wayne, unfortunately, not quite making it any further up, but he's inside the top 8. John Tusting is up there as well. He's gained 9 places. Bod Boland has gained 8, but unfortunately just outside of that top 8 group, which will go through into the final. Holger Meifert is the final spot at the moment to hold on to that. Victor Centelles has got Chris Roberts still behind him. These two completely inseparable in this race. And it's always good fun to get this as well over the course of a race. You know, you get these inseparable drivers that just have a battle all race long. It's great to watch. Good fun. Ross Nicholson's going to be probably thinking this was a bit of a boring race for him, but all the same, he can't be too disappointed about the fact that he's winning. Oh, Michael Fisher's had an issue. He's in the wall. What's happened here? Up through the S's is the car. Yeah, it just breaks away from him. He lifted on the throttle a bit, and it got away, and he does an absolutely gorgeous job of not hitting the wall there. He gets going again. Into the final corner, though, the consolation race it may be, but Ross Nicholson will be very happy to take a victory here at Suzuka. Well done to Ross. Nicely controlled drive, gets himself a spot into the final. He will start 17th on the grid. Grabowski will start 18th in the feature race. Good drive from him with Santeles 19th. Chris Roberts will start 20th. Then we have Wayne Palmer 21st. Henning Stuhlinger 22nd. John Tusting will start 23rd. And Holger Meifer, despite 13 seconds back, he will be the final car to make it through. Bob Boland just missing out, unfortunately, at the end. And Ollie, based on your comment, it depends on which other 24 you are discussing, my friend. But there we go, another wonderful race completed on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday evening. H&R, I'm not sure what that means, to be honest, mate. So it can't be that one. It cannot be that one. Here's Jeff Browning just coming to finish the race with Daniele Giudici right behind him. Oh no, Jeff! Oh, Jeff! Oh, I saw him walk off and I thought they were bringing a sub on, Jeff. He gets it going. Yeah, it's not that one. That seems there's 3 24-hour races going on that weekend then, Ollie. Jeff drags the car across the line. He'll be just slamming on the anchors and getting out with Van Muller style down the straight. And we're now going to go into the warm-up session. I'll give you the timer on the screen as well so you can see just how long of the session is left. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. Just go get myself a drink. Get everything recharged and ready to go. And you can enjoy the warm-up session. I'll be back with you in a few minutes, everybody. So, here we go then, ready for the final race of the night. Just a couple more minutes of warm-up to go. Chaz Draycott here with you for the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series. What a championship we've had so far, don't you all agree? And I know that I've not done the whole claps in chat thing for a long time, but can we please get some claps in chat for Bart Daleman and his team that put this together? Bart's not very well at the moment, so we do hope for a speedy recovery for him. Thank you very much, Taylor. I actually have a new one in the works for the British Boring Car Championship. Good news on that part as well is that David Addison has confirmed that he will be at least trying to commentate some rounds of that championship with me. And we'll be commentating from the same room together, which, to be honest, will be quite an honour. It's already been amazing to work with David before now, but yeah, to commentate literally side by side will be absolutely phenomenal. So James Forsyth, as you can see, fastest at the moment. With, well, Tom Walstra now, 69 nice thousandths of a second. Just behind him, Matthew Crisp third, who's having a bit of a wobble at the moment. Kevin Zemstra, another fiercely forward car up there as well. But James Forsyth, good pace there in the Year 1 Racing Alpha Live machine. He has got some good potential, as James Forsyth. Very quick guy. Very quick guy. It's so hard to get these cars hooked up out of that hairpin, honestly. The rears just want to light up all the time and the car just gains that little bit more grip and then it loses it due to how the camber comes towards you and then goes away on the exit of the corner. Well, we have 2 minutes left to go here in the warm-up. And then we'll be good to go. I'm really looking forward to this one. Let us know in chat who you have your eyes on for a win in this feature race this evening. Evening, Ben. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much indeed. It was a fantastic experience, I won't lie. Down the straight then, look at these lighting conditions as well as Zemstra goes fastest and Walstra goes fastest. He says, not on your life, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Tom Walstra, who of course, don't forget, look at this. Look at this. Here are your championship standings. Tom Walstra and Adrian Falcon tied on points before tonight. And Adrian Falcon will be starting this feature race from pole position. So it's going to be very close because they haven't scored any points yet this evening. All of the points come from the final race of your night. So if you don't make it out of your heat, if you don't make it out of the consolation race, your points get locked in there as if you are 25th and further down. And everyone that gets into the final has first to 24th in terms of the points. And they're for overall position as well, not just class position. As Walstra pulls over and goes back to the pits. But say you're fighting a car in another class and you think, oh, I don't need to get past them because they're in a different class. That's incorrect. You need to get as many places as you can. It's one of those very tough championships. But here we go then. The cars will disappear very shortly, as I'm sure Arthur Fry's car will. Just wait for it. There you go. And the final grid of the night lies before us. So, Adrian Falcon, pole position. Kevin Zemstra alongside Tom Walstra, Adrian's championship rival, in third. With Matthew Crisp fourth. Ben White in fifth position. Then it's Arthur Fry, Taylor Lane, James Forsythe, Hans Polmans, Ben Hoffman rounds out your top 10. Then it's Sebastian Hebera alongside Josh Clogg. Behind them is Matthew Forrest, Matthew Sufi, Jack Werrell and Paul Godden, with Ross Nicholson, Stephen Grabowski, Victor Balea-Centellas, Chris Roberts, Wayne Palmer, Henning Stuhlinger, John Tusting and Holger Meifert rounds out your grid. 16 laps here at Suzuka, a mandatory pit stop, and we're sure to see some incredible racing. Just waiting for Josh Clogg to take to the grid. He does so now. And the feature race at Suzuka, and the last race of the evening here in the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series is away. Great start in the middle. Oh, there's contact at the back. There's 3-4 cars involved already. Ross Nicholson dropping down. Adrian Falcon leads into turn 1. Kevin Zemstra and Tom Walstra side by side. Tom's going to try and go around the outside. We've got Sebastian Hebera going off the circuit. Seb's off in the gravel. Look at this, though. This is important because Tom Walstra now is unleashed to go after Adrian Falcon. This is the championship starting to shape up here as we go into the final few race meetings. All the Year 1 Racing Alpha Life cars here swarming Taylor Lane. It was Taylor that got a great launch off the line. Chris Roberts has gone off. He's gone off hard and he is in the wall and out of the race. Henning Stuhlinger also with a bit of damage. We'll revisit that shortly. Kevin Zemstra now holding off his teammate Matthew Crisp and Arthur Fry, although he goes off himself. So difficult to get it right on these opening laps. But there's your race leader, Adrian Falcon, tied for the championship lead with Tom Walstra at the moment. So this visual gap that you have now is literally all that's separating them in the championship. Towards Spoon they go. It's going to be interesting to see what Zemstra does here because he's going to be keeping an eye on his teammate in front and potentially taking advantage of him. I'm not sure whether he's just going to be there to will him on. James Forsythe on the back of this as well. We've got an amazing train for the top 6. There's a bit of a gap back to Ben White. Oh, Forsythe runs wide out of the left-hander. 130 they go. Very fast left-hander Arthur Fry. He's been watching Lewis Hamilton grinding the curbs in Russia, hasn't he? Oh, there's a lock-up, I think, in front by Adrian Falcon. Walstra's going to get a run out of here, surely. Surely now Walstra is going to be tucked into that slipstream. Falcon, of course, doing the fastest lap of the race. Walstra putting the pressure on. He's going to turn this up to 11 now. Here's the view back from Adrian Falcon. Arthur Fry a little bit further back from this, by the way, right on the back of Matthew Crisp. Here he is in 5th position. So many great battles going on all the way up and down the order. Got a bit of a train going on here behind Matthew Forrest. He's got his teammate Jack Werrell, and it's Matthew Sufi and Paul Godden behind him. He's also in the middle of this pack. Paul Godden all over the back of Matthew Sufi now as well. I do want to have a visit to what happened at the start. So Ross Nicholson. Oh, Ross just goes nowhere and just gets piled into. Not quite sure who it was that hit him, but he got a very poor launch off the line. Oh, Victor Centellas just smacks into him, and then the car's around and they can't avoid him. What happened to Sebastian Hebera then? He's around the outside. Oh, he just turns into the side of the VRC car. That's a real shame. Chris Roberts with that damage ends up going off the track in a moment anyway. Holger Meifert was just behind him. He's probably going to see all this kick off in front. Or is Chris going to lose it? And Holger actually gets into Chris. So Chris Roberts goes off into the wall. And there was another car that was damaged. It was Henning Stuhlinger. It was already off as well with some damage. So a real messy first lap there from everybody, I'd say. Which is a shame to see. But look at this field streaming down the straight. This is the top 10 cars all together. All in a big line. at the back of it. Hans Polman's just trying to hold on. Josh Clogg is in 10th place, 1.5 seconds away from him. So you get a great view here. You can see ahead though, 3rd and 4th. That's Matthew Crisp on the back of Kevin Zemstra. Ready? Bing. There we go. Oh, as Zemstra goes wide, Crisp looks to the inside. Oh. Yeah, Frederick Van Eekhoven and Josh Clogg. Good to see you, Frederick. Hope you're well. You two have got some fond memories here. Clogg champ at the moment is in 10th position. With that Union Jack on the side of the car, I'm surprised it's not called Fiercely Forward Brexit. Started laughing at my own joke halfway through there. That's pretty poor, isn't it? So, 3 Fiercely Forward cars chasing down Adrian Falcon, who's leading this race at the moment. James Forsythe is the most spaced out car. It's a strange bit of strange phrase. Henning Stuhling has gone off again after getting back out on track. Oh no, that's not going to go well. You're not going to get that stop before a wall. Oh, that's a big hit for Henning, and that is the end of his race, I'm afraid. Ben Hoffman is close to the back of Taylor Lane. Here we go on board. Whoa, you can't go that way. Oh, Ben. Oh, beautiful shot there through 130R with the sun just setting in the background. Now behind this, Josh Clogg again is going to have a really good view through his favourite chicane. Dennis Melchett commenting on the Facebook feed. Good to see you, mate. Now, Josh Clogg really didn't get the run that I was expecting down that straight there. This is still close, you know, ahead here between these 3 Fiercely Forward cars. Matthew Crisp is all over the back of Kevin Zemstra. Up they go towards the Degners. The 2 right-handers. Very quick, the first one, and then you've got to get the car settled. Don't take too much curb and chuck it round to the right. And good evening to you, The Optic. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far. It's close further back. Here's Victor Belair Centellas all over the back, or he would be. All over the back of the 2 virtual racing compound machines. Very pretty car. These are 2 of the prettiest liveries in the series, it has to be said. Both making use of black and white, mixed in with a nice flash of colour. This is Taylor Lane as well in the Academy class. Him and Mathieu Soufi have been real absolute standouts in that class. Chris Roberts, the other Academy car in this as well. Not a problem at all, The Optic. I'm glad you're enjoying the broadcast. Now, Tom Wallstra and Kevin Zemstra need to try and get shimmying forwards here together. And look at this down the inside from Matthew Crisp. Send down the inside into the chicane. Now Arthur Fry, surely he's going to get something out of this as well. Although Crisp thinks, nah, I need to get into some clear air, so he ducks into the pits very quickly. Arthur Fry now on the back. There's just Fiercely Forward and Year 1 racing cars behind. Look at this. Brilliant to watch. Kevin Zemstra is still under pressure though. There's battles all over the place and most of them are Fiercely Forward cars. Oh, I think Jack Werrell's just had an issue. No, he just went wide at 130R racing with Victor Centellas. Oh, Jack locks up on the way into the chicane and Centellas goes through. Here's Wayne Palmer with John Tusting for company. And again, more Fiercely Forward cars all over the place. Jack Werrell and Victor Centellas keep swapping places again and again. They're still side by side. Victor's internet not helping there. Jack's gone onto the curb. It's a bit scary to race a car that's blinking that much. Not a problem, Louis. Glad you're enjoying it, mate. Good to see you. Taylor Lane now coming under pressure from Ben Hoffman in the Year 1 racing car. Wow. Wow, Ben. Get closer. Now he's going to get a good run out of Spoon, is he? He gets it tucked in. Let's go on board, see what the slipstream's like. Up the hill they go. 11 laps still to go in this race. Out to the left-hand side he goes. Down the inside of Taylor Lane. Runs a little bit wide. Nearly contact. It's so scary trying to go through there side by side. But Taylor now has the inside for the chicane. Looked like he got a bit deep in there, but that's not the case. Arthur Fry comes into the pit lane. Taylor Lane as well. Taylor pit lane. Oh, nearly had Ben Hoffman off there. And now he has to defend from Josh Clogg just behind him. And it's Louis' birthday. I'm afraid I can't sing happy birthday because I'll probably get a copyright strike or something and I'll break everybody's ears. And as much as I like to think I can sing, it's probably best that I don't. But happy birthday, Louis. Happy birthday indeed, my friend. I hope you've had a wonderful day. Don't know what you're doing Saturday watching this, but no, it's good to see you all the same, mate. There is Matthew Crisp going past Arthur Fry, who's just come out of the pit lane. And out of the cars that have pitted, we'll show you that on the left-hand side so you can see. Matthew Crisp is the highest placed of them in the Fiercely Forward car. And now these guys have a bit of clear air here. They're doing the undercut on some of these guys further forward. But even then, they're spreading out a little bit here. So that gap is just going to help them set some quicker times than what they were doing before when they were getting held up. Because when you're in traffic, you don't realise how much of a difference it makes to your pace. It's scary. It's really scary, the amount of time that you lose. So this is Clogg then, just chasing down Ben Hoffman. And then it's the other Ben White, just ahead in the 1-2-1 machine. Look at this from Clogg. He's got a great run out of 130R. Oh, and Ben Hoffman's gone very deep into the chicane. He's going to cut said chicane. Clogg goes through, but into the pits anyway, and Hoffman follows him in. So none of the cars ahead of them are pitted. So where's Matthew Crisp? Here they are, coming through to 130R. Into the chicane again. I'm sorry, Optic. I've just been told to say Hoffman. I've got Ben Hoffman, not Eichert. Look at this round the outside from Arthur Fry. He's trying some sort of Kimi Räikkönen stuff there. Still holding it around the outside of Matthew Crisp. Nearly keeps the overlap through turn 2. That would have been very impressive indeed. A bit of a slide there from Crisp. These guys really pushing the limits of these cars. It's very impressive. Still the highest placed cars that have pitted as well. It's a good chase from Arthur Fry though. Oh, that was a wild ride over the curbs then. Very wild ride indeed. Onto the brakes, into the hairpin. It's a corner that you really need to focus on to get right. Don't sort of pay attention too much to what the car in front of you is doing. Oh, we've got Jack Werrell and Victor Centelles off the circuit. I thought it was going to happen earlier with the connection problems for Victor. Oh, Victor's around. Oh, and Jack just piles into him. What happened there? Oh. Maybe Jack just thought that the car was going to go to the side, and that's second impact as well. Absolutely monumental hit, and there is Jack's car looking a little bit sorry for itself. Arthur Fry has now got ahead of Matthew Crisp before 130R by the look of it. And through he goes. Sebastian Heberer is in the pit lane. And the sun has very quickly gone in. Oh, we've had Ross Nicholson. Ross Nicholson's had an issue. He spun the car around at the Degners. Gets back going again. Jack saying he thinks it was just another blink. That's perfectly understandable, mate. It's such a shame. But I bet that made you jump, didn't it? Oh, Porsche Sport in the house. Good to see you guys. How you doing? Victor Centelles has gone off the circuit and come back on again. I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well, thank you indeed. Loving this tonight again from the Simracersworld Formula 3 Series. Absolutely loved last night in the Porsche Club GB Sim Racing Championship as well. It was a lot of fun to cover that with Peter at Silverstone. If you haven't watched that broadcast, by the way, guys, do go back and watch it. It was the rounds 3 and 4 at Silverstone. Stick around for the end of this one. We've got 8 laps to go. Let's not talk about Sergeant Bash. Hey, Robot Wars puns always go down well with me. I'm sorry. Here's Tom Walstra then in the pit lane. Championship leader, tied championship leader with this man. Gorgeous shot there of Adrian Falcon through turns 1 and 2. Kevin Zemstra is now 4 seconds behind him. And then James Forsyth up into 3rd place with Walstra in the pits. Hans Polmans and Paul Godden also coming in. And Jack Werrell's car clearly has not updated in a visual perspective on my screen, which makes for quite comical viewing. I wonder how that's going to handle around turn 1. There's some sort of magic spell going on there, isn't there? Look at that. Well, racing simulation is fantastic, but it's not always perfect, is it? Still, phenomenal stuff for Jack Werrell, that. Great, great aerodynamics from that car. He must have it set up very well. Right then, Arthur Fry, highest placed car that has pitted so far. Matthew Crisp right behind him. Taylor Lane and Ben Hoffman are on the back of Josh Clogg. Oh, it's definitely rear wheel drive. I'm wondering how long that car's going to stay like that. It's still going. That's probably one of the highlights of the night. But we have a championship to sort out. Tom Walstra has dropped down a lot, as noticed by Brian Loynes. That's a very, very strange one. What has happened? Tom Walstra's pit stop was 21 seconds as opposed to 4 or 5 seconds of the cars around him. So it is a pit stop issue, as confirmed by his team boss. So we've got Tusting, Sufi, White, Forsyth and Adrian Falcon in the pit lane. Here he is then. We'll go on board to see the cars behind. Kevin Zemstra, James Forsyth in there. That is Victor Belair-Centelles. He thought his front brakes were a bit soft. They look like it. So there is the front few coming down pit lane. Now Matthew Crisp has overtaken Arthur Fry again. That's down to 130R. Now we're going to go on board with Matthew because he wasn't too far behind Adrian, but Adrian wasn't in a battle. He was one of the cars, well, he was the car at the very front, so he could just run away and put in his ultimate pace. He's out of the pit lane. He's just going around turn 1 at the top of his shot. And Arthur Fry trying to come back at it again. Just in front of them now is Kevin Zemstra. It shows you that despite that undercut, Zemstra's clean air actually helped him stay ahead of Matthew Crisp, I'd say. Maybe the battling with Arthur Fry as well. So everybody's stopped now. Josh Clogg has got Taylor Lane and Ben Hoffman still right behind him. But Zemstra, Crisp and Arthur Fry definitely the ones to watch. But Tom Walstra, that's taken a big chunk of points out of his championship fight. It was looking like they were going to be separated by mere single digits after this one. Oh, we've had Stephen Grabowski's had an issue. He's come back on though with a cone. Look at this from Zemstra. That's Jack Werrell, whose car has now magically grown wheels on the front again. I agree with that comment, Porsche Sport. That fiercely forward livery looks good on everything. Oh, there's a car around there, I think. Or just a big lock-up from the car in front. not handy when you're Kevin Zemstra and you've got this lot behind you. Look at this from Matthew Crisp. He is flying now. Could say he's frying. Arthur Fry's going to get a view of it. Is that Victor Centella's internet in front that's blinking around? Look at that run from Arthur Fry. If he can outdo Kevin Zemstra there, that's going to be an absolute wonder move. He's around the outside, which is going to be the inside. Magical stuff from Arthur Fry. Wow. That was gorgeous stuff, but now Zemstra is going to get the slipstream. Just behind them, Jack Werrell. He's thinking, stuff it, let's get involved, let's have some fun. Around the outside goes Zemstra. Look at the pace that he carried there, and then chucks it into turn 2. Fantastic manoeuvres by the pair of them over the last half a lap. Ben Hoffman is onto the back of Taylor Lane again. New cars coming soon, says Ollie. That'll be an absolute joy to see as always. 5 laps to go then. Almost 2 minutes a lap. So just under 10 minutes of this race to go. Holger Meifert is on the back of Matthew Forrest. No, he looks down the inside. Nearly contact there. That was scary stuff from the pair of them. That's very true, Optic. You get to save the tyres if you've not got any front wheels. It helps the team budget. Tom Wallstra is pushing hard at the moment. His last lap was actually half a tenth quicker than Adrian Falcon. Actually, sorry, that was his best lap. Last time round, he did a 54.9. Car ahead, Hans Polmans was only 0.2 slower, so judged on what I was looking at originally, it was a lot more impressive. Arthur Fry is still attacking Kevin Zemstra. Now that means Matthew Crisp can get away. Oh, we've had Chris Roberts off. He's had a spin. Gets going again, though, in the VRC car. It's a very pretty car, that, as well, isn't it? Very good-looking bit of kit. Paul Godden's in a fight with John Tusting. A bit further down the order. There's scraps everywhere. We've got these two. Then we've got Matt Forrest just ahead with Matthew Sufi, Arthur Fry and Kevin Zemstra. Oh, Arthur Fry's off big time. Arthur Fry's night surely over. Oh, that's such a shame. What happened here? Is there contact? Oh, no. No, no, no. There really shouldn't have been. And Arthur Fry is in the wall hard. Also, Ben Hoffman's gone off out of turn 2. That's a precarious place to be. Car's going around to the left. Good coordination from the drivers there, but this is a great scrap in the midfield here. Oh, it nearly wasn't then for Paul Godden. We've got these 4, and then the 2 cars ahead as well. Everyone having a really good fight. I'm sure a lot of these drivers will be enjoying this race thoroughly. If we look at the back of this, Sebastian Hebra's got a great view. Look at the sun out there as well. Gorgeous stuff. Really is. On board then with this beautiful view in front of us. Oh, it looks like Godden's gone a little bit wide there. Tusting is going to be tucked right up behind him. The colour for class I'll show you at the top. There's Precision, Consistency and Academy. So it's Pro, Pro-Am and Am basically. But with fancy names. And to be honest, I really do like the names. It's not the easiest to rattle off as a commentator, but it keeps adding to the challenge, which is good. So Taylor Lane, as you can see, doing a great job at the moment in the Academy class. He's up in 7th place overall. Look at this side by side. Sorry, Paul Godden scared out of his life there as John Tusting goes down the inside into 130R onto the brakes, into the chicane. Tusting looked like the rear end was trying to break away from him a little bit there. Matthew Forrest, by the way, has got Holger Meifert right behind him now. Got on board with Holger. Matt's on the right somewhere. What's your commitment like into turn 1? There's the front wing of Matthew Forrest. Round he goes. Keeps it planted. Doesn't keep the overlap for turn 2 though. Ben Hoffman's in there as well. And just behind this, Tusting, Godden and Hebra still together as well. Then Stephen Grabowski. Oh, Stephen Grabowski. I was going to say he was close with Palmer. Oh, he's lost it on his own. That's a massive accident. They got very lucky there not to have further contact. What happened? Oh, there was contact. I was going to say he must have tried to get past on the grass or something. Ouch. I'm trying to find Grabowski. He's just disappeared off my screen. Sorry, we're going to go through that again. He's on the right, and he just doesn't get given any room at all by Chris Roberts. And that's the end of Grabowski's night. He'll be understandably frustrated with that one. Now, this looks nice and simple if you're Tom Walstra, but there... Sorry, Hans Polmans, but there is Tom Walstra just creeping up on him at the moment. Look at the slipstream there. Big effect as he gets through 130R, jumps out to the right-hand side, does Walstra. He's fighting for a championship lead, don't forget, with Adrian Falcon, who's currently still leading this race. And up into 8th position goes Walstra. Taylor Lane is now 7th. That's Jack Werrell ahead of him on track, but not for position. But Taylor very much leading the academy class at the moment. Matthew Sufi having another impressive performance this evening. Currently 10th overall. And 2nd in the academy class. Here's Paul Godden, still on the back of John Tusting. We've got 2 laps to go after this one. And Adrian Falcon is leading the way. And here is your race leader then. Just coming into the hairpin in the Team Iridium car. Adrian's been a real star this season. He had a bit of a moment at Alton Park and a fantastic recovery drive because of it. And Arthur there realising he's on the wrong account. It's a real shame that is, Arthur, honestly. Real shame is, oh, Paul Godden does a bit of grass tracking. Tries to recover, manages to get it sorted. Back on board with Hebra once again. Off into the sunset. Look at the bloom, that's beautiful. Round towards Spoon Curve they go. Very, very difficult part of the circuit. Just ahead of this as well, we'll go on board with Ben Hoffman, who is right on the back of Holger Meifert. You'll see the gap coming down now, watch this. Look at the slipstream as Ben's car just magnetises itself towards the back. Target locked. Through 130R they go. Little bit of grass there from Holger Meifert in front. Over to the right-hand side goes Hoffman. A little bit later on the brakes. Down the inside. There's still an overlap though, so he needs to be careful. Through he goes. Nice commanded stuff. Just behind though, still going on. John Tusting with Paul Godden and Sebastian Hebra. Completely inseparable so far. And the slipstream battle has begun once again then between Meifert and Hoffman. The 2 German drivers side by side. Oh, that's a scary moment for Meifert there when you get on that Astro out there. The car can either snap, it can go straight on, or it can just behave normally, and he got away with that and it behaved normally. Up through the S's. Great to see the weight transfer in these cars. Diving one way, then the other. Oh, a little bit of a slide from Holger Meifert there. The rear end not quite behaving. Tom Walstra is now a second behind his teammate Taylor Lane. Although I say that, I think there was a bit of a moment there actually. As Hans Polmans, I think, got very close to the back of him, and he's now lost a second and a bit to Taylor Lane. He's now 2.2 seconds off him, so something happened there. Maybe Hans went down the inside and Walstra had to get out of it. Holger Meifert is looking so aggressive here behind Hoffman. Look at this. Ben Hoffman somehow hanging on to this. Now the slipstream's going to come into effect once again. as Adrian Falcon starts the final lap. There's the view back from Ben Hoffman's car. Holger Meifert decides to use the outside line, which will become the inside if he gets it late on the brakes, but it's not the case. John Tusting's now on the back of him, so is Paul Godden, so is Sebastian Heberer, all together. Wallstra needs to be careful about Polman's behind him now as he goes through to start his final lap, but Adrian Falcon, well, he's been pretty untouchable this evening. It was a shame about the contact in race 1 with Tanguy van der Weeg, because that put to bed what could have been an epic battle between the two drivers. But either way, Adrian Falcon has done another stunning job to get this car around in such good pace. Matthew Crisp has been a real standout for me tonight as well. He's been very consistent, very quick. Kevin Zemstra third at the moment for Fiercely Forward. And James Forsythe in fourth place as well. His cameraman's going to get motion sick in a minute. And there's Josh Clogg and Ben White just behind. Oh, Holger Meifert's off. He's off at the Degner. Degner 2. Back on he goes. Not sure whether he got help. But there's only a few corners left now for Adrian Falcon. Oh, Jack Werrell's had an issue. Jack Werrell's off out of the hairpin. But Adrian Falcon is going to extend his championship lead now. Or he's going to at least create one, because him and Tom Wallstra came into this race meeting tied on points. But it's definitely gone the way of Adrian Falcon. Beautiful win here this evening at Suzuka. Takes the checkered flag. 5.5 seconds ahead of Matthew Crisp, who sounds like he's running out of fuel across the line. Kevin Zemstra takes third. Here is James Forsythe in fourth place. Just behind him, you will see Ben White and Josh Clogg. Sorry, there's Taylor Lane. Taylor takes an AM win, Academy win. Great stuff. Tom Wallstra just behind him, then Hans Polmans in ninth place. Mathieu Soufi grabs a top 10 overall. Great drive from Mathieu. New to the championship. Here's Sebastian Heberer on the back of Paul Godden. Doesn't quite get it in the end. Very close between the pair of them. But another absolutely mega race meeting here in the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 series. We'll go over the results for you in just a moment. But there is your race winner, Adrian Falcon, side by side there with his teammate Victor Belair-Centelles. And well, Adrian's just one of those drivers, isn't he? Just manages to get it done time and time again. Just seeing who needs to cross the line yet. Wayne Palmer is just coming into the final couple of corners, and so too is Ross Nicholson, his teammate at Sim Stickers. Here is Wayne. Excuse me. There he goes across the line, and there is Ross Nicholson. And it seems that we're still waiting for Chris Roberts as well. He will be the last car to go across the line and trigger the race results as confirmed. And there he goes. Lets off and calms it down across the line. So Adrian Falcon takes your race win from Matthew Crisp. Kevin Zemstra finishing third ahead of James Forsythe. Good night for him and Ben White as well, to be fair. Josh Clogg finishes sixth. They'll be happy with that. Taylor Lane wins the Academy class this evening, with Tom Wallstra ruining what could have been there in 8th position. Hans Polman's 9th ahead of Mathieu Soufi. Then it's Ben Hoffman and John Tusting, with Paul Godden 13th, Sebastian Heberer in 14th place, Holger Meifert 15th. Matthew Forrest finished 16th in the end, ahead of Wayne Palmer and Ross Nicholson, with Chris Roberts in 19th place, and then the cars a lap down or more. Victor Centelles and Jack Werrell 1 lap down. Stephen Grabowski, after that huge accident down to 130R, finishes 22nd. Arthur Fry, unfortunately, 23rd. And Henning Stuhlinger, 14 laps down after his incident at the start. So it's just about time for some interviews then. We'll see what some of these guys have to say for themselves, I suppose. We'll get the replay back to the green flag at the very start. And one person that I would absolutely love to bring in, and will bring in, is, as you see the incident in the background there at the very start. Hans Polmans joins me in the chat. Hans, that was a very exciting race meeting by the look of it. That looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Mr. Chaz, good evening. It was quite fun, yeah. First heat, I was quite close to Taylor and Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
No, was it Kevin? No, Tim Rutten. I was playing it quite safe, so I hoped one of those guys made a mistake. What happened? So, hold the position and drive it out.
Well, it always looked like there was always somebody to battle with, wasn't there? And that's been the real sort of the talking point of this championship, is the fact that because of the format being so frantic, everybody's always in a fight, aren't they? No matter where they are on track.
Yeah, but most of the guys are quite close to each other as well. I think in qualifying and practice, the first 15 to 20 cars, there's only a second and a half off maximum.
Wow.
So yeah, it's close racing all the time, and the pack only gets divided by an incident.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, we do see obviously with how close all the battling is that there are incidents here and there. I do want to retract my comment about your apexes earlier, by the way, but it was just a very unfortunate timing for me to go on board, I suppose. But it's still all good fun all the same. Just talk to me though about the upcoming rounds of the championship. Obviously, we've only got 2 race meetings left to go, both British circuits. We're going to Silverstone next time out.
Yeah.
It's
I hate Silverstone.
You and me both. It's a very flat circuit, isn't it?
Yeah. And with the car understeering a lot, I have some doubts that I will finish it, but we'll see. I do love Brandt Hatch though, so I'm looking forward to that race.
Well, hopefully you can make up for it if you have a bad time at Silverstone then, mate. We'll have to see. But before we let you go though, Hans, do you want to give a shout out to anybody tonight, mate?
Well, the entire team, and especially Tanguy for screwing it up all over again. Seems to be his habit.
Wow. Well, I'll leave that with you at Flemish Sim Sports, but thank you for joining me, Hans, and I will speak to you again very, very soon.
Till next time.
Cheers. What a guy. Hans Polman's very entertaining. And one of the virtual racing compound guys joins us, Matt Forrest, in the chat. Matt, how are you doing?
Not too bad, mate. You alright?
Yes, I'm very, very good, thank you indeed. It's been a bit of a crazy, crazy evening, to be fair, for a lot of you guys out there, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, I was just happy to avoid the first corner incidents, to be honest, around here. I mean, we all know what it's like driving down before you get to the S's.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of guys like to get a bit sendy on the first lap, but the sort of the racing format sort of owes itself to that, doesn't it? Because it's very frantic because you have to be in a certain position. There's no ifs or buts, is there? You can't be like within a certain amount of time from the leader. You have to be in a set position. So it puts you guys under a lot of pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah, we were talking about it in the warm up, and we decided that we'd pit early in the feature race.
Okay.
Just get out of it. Just so we try and make some spaces up that way. It was working up until I spam.
Oh, heck. Well, it's easy to do in these cars, isn't it? I mean, they're very, very planted, but they just break away suddenly, don't they?
Oh, yeah. There is something about them that, I mean, if you get it right and you hook it up, it just feels like $1 million. And then you get it wrong, you feel stupid.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do that in every single car anyway, mate, so don't worry. So that's why I commentate and don't drive. But it was always a good race, though, watching you as well. There was a lot of good battles out there. Before we let you go, mate, do you want to give a shout-out to anybody?
No, just congratulations to the VRC team for getting all 3 in the final race for the first time.
Yeah, actually, very very well said. Congrats from me and everyone at Simracersworld as well. It was good to see.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yes.
Matt Forrest there from Virtual Racing Compound, and we'll drag in one more driver, shall we, and see who we can have a chat with. And well, someone that's always up for a chat. Taylor Lane joins me in the box. Taylor, another Academy win there for you. You must be over the moon with that, buddy.
Oh, I'm super happy with that. It was a great result.
And just talk me through how your night went from your point of view, because it seemed like you were always up there in the top 10. You were always fighting around your teammates, and I bet you're sick of the sight of those Year 1 Alpha Live cars, aren't you?
I'm always sick of seeing them. No, I'm only joking. Yeah, just quite a tough night. Started off with some issues with my wheel rim, so I've had to go back to the original paddles on my wheel, so I didn't have the double clutch. So I had to do all the start and all that manually with the pedal. Surprised that didn't affect me at all. Yeah, the race was fairly straightforward. It was great fun.
Look, I was just saying then to Matthew that there's always somebody to fight with in this championship, isn't there? And no matter what you get involved in, you can have a real close battle because there's such a sort of compressed spread of talent in this league. You know, everybody's nearly at each other's level, just inching that little bit further up and up as you go to the top of the order. It's just so closely contested all the way up and down, isn't it?
I think the format that we're running this season is thanks to that, because although it sucks to have so many people not make it to the feature, it's sort of the people that get into the feature deserve to be in the feature, it seems.
Yeah,
which makes the race cool.
Yeah, there's certainly a very high level of talent gets into that feature race, and it's all about just keeping you cool, isn't it, when you're fighting for those places? Because we've seen a lot of guys before that are holding on to 8th or maybe in 9th trying to get 8th, and they'll just put it off because they've got to push so hard to get it. Have you sort of found yourself feeling a bit of nerves like that over the season?
The whole time I'm in the car, especially tonight, the setup was it was very sketchy. I didn't feel like I could get on the power as aggressive as everyone else could, so I had to try and make it up in the turns. I was balancing it the whole time. It was great fun.
Well, it certainly looks like it, mate, every time we watch you. Well done, of course, on your results tonight. Great to see you get another Academy win, mate. Obviously, ex-teammates as well, so I'm always willing you on slightly. And just before we let you go, of course, Taylor, would you like to give anybody a shout-out?
I would like to give a big shout-out to my team, Ollie for running such a great team, and obviously a great big shout-out to our new sponsor, Gomez. I can't remember what the rest of it is, but you can see it on our car. In IVRA Endurance, we've just landed a new partnership with them, so yeah, big shout out to them.
Nicely said. Well, I was trying to get a shot of it on the back. I was breaking the immersion for a second there and trying to chase cam, but I don't like chase cam and we couldn't see it anyway. But pleasure to speak to you as always though, Taylor. Thank you very much, mate, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Yep.
And once again, everybody, that brings us to the end of our race meeting. Another absolutely joyous occasion here in the SimStickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series. Adrian Falcon leads the championship once again. An amazing performance from him takes him back to the top of the standings, with Tom Walstra having issues in his pit stop. What will we see in a few weeks' time when we go to Silverstone? Who knows, eh? My name is Chaz Draycott. This has been the SimStickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series. Have yourselves a very, very good evening. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.